Yes, good morning both. Good morning to you too. We may well see a few more of them coming off the branches of trees this week because the forecast this week is quite wilder, especially the first half of the week. So today what's happening is we've got this clutch of fronts. We had high pressure in charge over the weekend, low pressure's taken over. And you can see the isobars across the Northern Isles, the Irish Sea here today. Gusty winds. But if you're further south and east, well, it's a dry start. There will be some sunshine, but more cloud building through the course of the day means the sunshine will turn hazy. But we can have rain pushing across Scotland, rain coming in across Northern Ireland. The Met Office has weather warnings out for this. In Northern Ireland, we could have up to 60 millimetres of rainfall. In Argyll and Bute, for example, we could have up to 80 millimetres, perhaps even a little bit more. So this could well lead to some issues. Temperatures today 8 to 15 or 16 degrees in the pushing across northern England and also into Scotland, and another arm of rain going back into Northern Ireland and coming in across Wales, the Midlands, northern England, and heading down towards the south. But at least that means it's not going to be a cold night, but it still is going to be a windy one, especially in the north and the west. I'll have more details in about half an hour. Lou and Dan.
Look forward.
Well, Lou, this week, as we go through the week, it's going to be wet at times, it's going to be windy at times as well, but certainly the first half of the week is going to be milder. In fact, tomorrow, some of us could have temperatures as high as 17 degrees, which is unusual for this time of year, above average. Today, though, we've got this clutch of fronts moving across our shores, particularly the north and the west, bringing in some rain. One look at the isobars across the Northern Isles, the Irish Sea, tells you here we've got strong gusts of wind as well. So here's the rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland. The Met Office has 2 yellow warnings out for this. In Northern Ireland, we could well have up to 60 millimetres of rainfall in the coasts and hills. Argyll and Bute, we could have 80 millimetres, possibly a bit more. So we're likely to have some issues with flooding from that rain. But for the rest of England and Wales, after a dry start, more cloud will build, turning the sunshine hazy, and some of that rain getting into northwest England, parts of Wales, and potentially the south. Now, as we head on through the evening and overnight, we hang on to the rain across northern areas, and then we've got another batch coming in right behind it. So still some heavy rain to watch out for. And through the night, the rain coming in from the west starts its journey moving eastwards. As a result of all of this, it's not going to be a cold night. We're looking at temperatures falling to between 7 and 12 degrees. Now, tomorrow, this front moves steadily east. Clearing. It'll be windy, particularly in the southeast quarter and particularly in the coast, but low pressure's not too far away. In between, we're pulling in the southwesterly wind, hence the higher temperatures. It's going to feel milder tomorrow if you're out of that rain. So we start off with the rain in central areas, eventually pushing off into the North Sea. It could slow a little bit down from what you're seeing in the chart, may not clear till early afternoon. We still have the rain ensconced across northern Scotland with gusts to gale force across the Northern Isles, and still some showers coming in to western areas. Some of those will merge to give some heavier, more persistent periods of rain, and also you could hear the odd rumble of thunder. But these are our temperatures, 10 in the north to 17 across parts of Manchester, London and Cardiff. Now, as we move from Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see how we still have more rain crossing Northern Ireland and Scotland. And then this area of heavy rain with gusty winds coming in across the southeast. The timing and position of this could change. It's actually a storm that's going to be affecting Spain. We're keeping a close eye on it, but still relatively mild. Lou and Dan.
Thanks, Kate.
Looking at an unsettled week, there'll be times when we see some heavy rain, some strong winds, but it is going to be milder, especially the first half of the week. I'll have all the details in 10 minutes. To you, aren't they beautiful? Some of those leaves will be down off the branches this week though, because we are looking at an unsettled week. It will often be windy and it will often be wet, but it's also going to be mild, especially the first half of the week. Now you can see all the rain that's been falling through the course of the night. It's moved out of Northern Ireland temporarily, and it's all across Scotland, but there's more on the way for Northern Ireland coming in through the course of the day, pushing in some heavy rain also across Scotland, and some of that rain getting in eventually across northwest England and also in through Wales. We could see some spots getting into southwest England as well. But through the afternoon, remaining dry across the Channel Islands, much of southern England. There will be some sunshine to start the day, turning hazy through the course of the afternoon. Largely dry across eastern parts of England. You could catch the odd splash of rain at this stage, but pretty wet across a large part of Scotland. And in fact, the Met Office has 2 yellow weather warnings out for rain. One for Northern Ireland, where we could in the next 36 hours have as much as 60 millimetres with height and exposure. And in Scotland, especially Argyll and Bute, we could see 80 millimetres of rain, maybe a little bit more. So that could well lead to some issues with flooding. Today's temperature, 8 to 15 degrees, so pretty mild. Through this evening and overnight, we continue with that rain moving across the northern half of the country, and then the next batch comes in from the west, moving steadily eastwards, but it is going to be a mild night. Temperatures not falling lower than 7 to 12 degrees. I'll have a longer broadcast with more detail looking further ahead in half an hour. Lou and Dan.
We'll be with you then.
You're right, Dan, there are no flies on you. Yes, indeed, temperatures higher than we'd expect at this time of year. This morning, though, I'm starting off with a beautiful sunrise taken in Norfolk. Many of us seeing a beautiful sunrise, but some of us seeing some torrential rain. And as Dan rightly said, it is going to be milder the first half of the week. There will be some heavy rain at times, and it's also going to be pretty windy today, especially across the Northern Isles and the Irish Sea, as you can see from the isobars. But we also have low pressure with its various fronts dominating our weather. At the weekend, we had high pressure. That's the thing of the past now. Low pressure will be with us until Thursday, and then it'll be back again on Friday. So you can see all this rain coming in across Scotland and Northern Ireland. Some of that, as it moves steadily eastwards through the day, will get in across northwest England and Wales. Odd splash could also get in across southwest England. Now, for the rest of England and Wales, where we start off with some sunshine, you'll notice the cloud continuing to build, and the sunshine will be hazy by the afternoon. Temperatures ranging from 8 in the north to 15, maybe 16 in the south. Through this evening and overnight, we still have this rain continuing its journey, moving northwards and eastwards, and then this fresh batch comes in from the west. It too is going to be moving eastwards. Still brisk winds, especially gusty across the Northern Isles and the Irish Sea. But with all of this going on, of course, it means it's not going to be a cold night. In fact, it's going to be quite a mild night for the time of year. Now, through tomorrow, there goes our first front, taking its rain with it. Our second front is still ensconced across the north of Scotland, and with low pressure nearby, we're packing in a fair few showers. But the wind direction is the southwesterly, so you can see all these yellows and ambers on the charts. Goodbye to the rain across England and Wales. It moves into the North Sea, may be slow to clear, may not be away from the east coast until early afternoon. The rain remains across northern Scotland, still brisk winds, especially in the Northern Isles, and we've got all these showers. Now, some of those showers will merge in the west, some of them will be really heavy and thundery, but in between we'll see some brightness with highs 10 to 17. We could also see from Tuesday into Wednesday. Well, you can see we still have that rain in Scotland. We still have the showers merging out towards the west. And then we have this next area of rain and windy conditions coming up from the near continent. Now, the position of this and the timing could change. If you're asking why, it's because we are looking at a storm across Spain, which will bring some torrential rain to Spain. And it's just the progress it makes towards us that leaves it open to question. So temperatures then 10 to 17 degrees. Dan and Lou.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That's right, it's coming and going. But good morning, everybody. This morning, some of us are seeing some really heavy rain, whilst others of us are actually starting off on a bright note with some gorgeous sunrises. Now, what we have is a lot of rain. It's moved out of Northern Ireland. Don't be fooled, there's more coming your way. And you can see all this rain across Scotland. So if you're travelling first thing, there will be a lot of surface water and spray on the roads. So as we go through the morning, more rain arrives in Northern Ireland. We'll see it continue across Scotland, getting in across northwest England, parts of Wales. Potentially, we could see the odd splash getting in across southwest England, but largely dry at this stage, as it will be in the Channel Islands. Now, after quite a sunny start for some, the cloud's going to build, turning that sunshine hazy, and that extends up the east coast towards the northeast of England and parts of eastern Scotland. But equally, there's a lot of rain. Now, the Met Office has 2 yellow weather warnings out for that rain across Northern Ireland and Scotland. There's a potential for some localised flooding. Temperatures 8 to 15 or 16 degrees, so fairly mild. As we head on through the evening and overnight, the rain continues to push northwards and eastwards across Scotland and Northern Ireland. Then we have a fresh batch coming in We have gusty winds today across the Northern Isles and the Irish Sea, and they'll prevail tonight as well. But at least it's not going to be a cold night. Dan and Lou, I'm off for some honey.
Oh,
It was worth it. Good morning, everybody. This morning we've seen some beautiful Weather Watchers pictures of sunrises. You can see here in Lower Slaughter there is quite a bit of cloud around, but for some of us it's been a wet start. And as we go through this week, there will be some heavy rain at times. It's going to be windier than it was at the weekend, but milder for the first half of the week. Now today low pressure is driving our weather. We had high pressure at the weekend, and with its attendant fronts it's bringing rain and also gusty winds across the Northern Isles and also the Irish Sea. So first thing this morning there's a lot of dry weather, as we saw with Justin there, but the cloud is going to continue to build across England and Wales, turning any sunshine hazy. Meanwhile, although we have had a lull in Northern Ireland, excuse me, this morning, more rain is on the cards for you, and continuing across Scotland, getting into northwest England and also parts of Wales, possibly the southwest later on. Temperatures 8 to about 16 degrees. Through this evening and overnight, well, we hang on to all that rain. It is moving northwards and also eastwards, and then a whole new batch comes in from the west, and that's going to be drifting eastwards as well. Wind-wise, still brisk winds, especially across the Northern Isles and the Irish Sea, but it's not going to be a cold night. Temperatures falling to between 7 and 12 degrees. Now, through Tuesday, we eventually say goodbye to this weather front, but we hang on to this one, and with low pressure nearby, we'll see a lot of showers. But the temperature is going to change because we've got this southwesterly wind coming in, which means temperatures will increase. So it's going to be mild for the time of year, 17 for some, possibly even 18 degrees. So we lose this rain for some, not until the early part of the afternoon. There will be a drier interlude across the far north of Scotland, with gusts to gale force across the Northern Isles. And then we've got this packet of showers in the west, some of those heavy and also thundery. But these are our temperatures, 9 to 18 degrees. As we move the west and also the north, but watch what's happening in the south. This band of rain is coming up from the near continent, and with it we'll see strengthening winds, particularly through the day in the southeastern quarter of the country, and with exposure especially in the southeast corner around the Straits of Dover, for example. The wind will be particularly gusty, and in between there'll be some drier and brighter conditions with temperatures 10 to about 17 degrees. That eventually moves away. A ridge of high pressure crosses us on Thursday, settling things down a touch, and then on Friday it's back to square one as low pressure takes charge once again. Dan and Lou.
thanks.